Hello and welcome to a demonstration of the SkyCentrics Dream platform, demand response, energy, and asset management. We started in the residential space, so I'm going to show you what it's like for a residential homeowner to use our app to control a thermostat and, for example, some lights. So you can see that we provide metering, on-off control, and if you wanted to control his thermostat, he can use the plus-minus buttons or change the mode, etc. However, we designed the platform to actually manage thousands of buildings and tens of thousands of devices for an enterprise. So, for example, right now, if you go to the groupings, you can see that this is just the family logged in, and all that person can see is what's in the family. Now I'm going to show you the iPad app, and this person has logged in as the organization, and the organization can see a lot more buildings. So this is like a REIT, so they would have a grocery store, some offices, hotels, and family residential units. If you drill down into the offices, you get multiple groupings and drilling down, and if you want to go back home and see everything, you can do that. So these are the kinds of devices that we can monitor and control: thermostats, heaters, plugs, dimmables, cameras, and meters. And right now, if we go to the dimmables and then the cameras, you can see that we have a number of devices on screen right now. So this is an Emerson water heater switch. There's a smart plug plugged into it. It's going to a watt node and then to a heater so that we can actually energize the water heater. And when we run our DR event, notice that there's two lights right over here. There's a green light, you can't see the color, but it's far away from the yellow light, which is showing that it's connected to the internet. So this is an Emerson water heater switch. There's a CTA 2045 SkyCentrics radio module that's blinking right above it and plugged into the Emerson water heater switch. So shortly I'm going to be running an event. Let's just look also at a PTAC unit. So this is a control, such as a thermostatic control for a PTAC unit, and we can actually see that PTAC unit by going to the camera and choosing PTAC, and we'll see that camera move, and you'll see a different kind of Wi-Fi radio module. This is an AC CTA 2045 module, and that's an Island Air PTAC control board. You can see that it's in heat mode right now. So, for example, if I wanted to go to that thermostat and change it to cool mode, I could do that. And now when I go back to the camera, you'll see that it's going to go from heat mode to cool mode. And there it is. So it went to cool mode. So the other devices that I have on camera, we have the Sky plug, which is that smart plug that's controlled in plugged into the Emerson switch right now. And now I'm going to run an event. So let me tell you a little bit about our platform. So now this is obviously a more complicated interface, but it would be for the utility. So the utility, these are in red because the utility does not own these buildings. So the buildings have permissioned the utility to have some control over it for demand response and grid events. If we go to the utilities DR administration page, you can see that we can create an event and make it be current date plus 2 minutes. We save that. It's going to be a 4-minute event. I'm going to create that event right now. It's inactive because it's going to start at 13:58. At 1:58, you can see up here it's 1:57. Let me just show you the types of events we can create with the CTA 2045 standard. So there's shed, critical peak emergency, and grid emergency, and these have various degrees of shed that the machines can do. Thermostats on a shed will offset by 4 degrees, on a critical peak emergency perhaps by 8 degrees, and a grid emergency they might offset by 10 or 15 degrees. interestingly enough, we also have loading up. So this is for electric vehicle chargers, pool pumps, and the A.O. Smith water heater, which we will be showing you a load up command. And then there's even power level, where you can set the machines to go to different levels of their normal power level. So I'm going to scroll down, and you're going to see that we have operational states that are color-coded. Everything's in idle normal right now. The Clipper Creek EV charger is offline, so you can see that it's a little blue-gray instead of the black. The A.O. Smith water heater shows interesting commodity information, not only the electricity consumed, but the present storage capacity, which is small right now because it's a tabletop water heater, but this can range all the way up to 5,000 watt, 5 kilowatt hours, I believe. And so right now this red is indicating that the event has started. It starts at 1:58, you get some event information, and then the devices respond. I'm going to refresh to show you that we auto-refresh about once a minute, but if you want to hurry things along, and then of course the electric vehicle charger is offline, so it's not going to show idle curtailed mode. And believe it or not, we also show this on the app. So if I go to the water heater right now, you can see that it's in idle mode as well. So right now, you can see, for example, the PTAC right here is offset. So the offset is 8 degrees during a critical peak event. It used to be when it was in at about 76 degrees. So the cool mode has offset it by 8 degrees. The A.O. Smith water heater is curtailed. The power is at 0, and I think the Emerson device, I was going to show you that. So if I go to the lobby cam view and I change it to the Emerson device, you're now going to see that it has switched its lighting, and so you can see that also by showing this, and I can go to my movie, and the movie will show that in the preset of here, if I go to the Emerson switch, now you'll see that the lights are right next to each other in the lower corner of the Emerson switch. That means the Emerson switch is off. You can see that this plug is off. The green light's no longer there. And you can go back now. And then we've created a dashboard for the utilities. So it shows, it used to show things were idle normal, but now I'm going to refresh and you can see an update, and it shows what's idle curtailed, running curtailed, the water heater capacity is changing. Basically, we show you which devices are online and offline, what's the mix of CTA 2045 and other devices, which ones have storage capacity, which ones have pre-cooling capacity, and then a total instantaneous energy being used and the total capacity available. And when we go to this graph, you can see that we graph that as well. And so right now, for example, you can see the water heater was cycling with a capacity. So it went from a 0 capacity, and then as it was cooling down, those green lines showed a capacity all the way up to 1100. This is not a full water heater, it's a smaller water heater. And then we'll see all of these devices as our time is leading up, so we can look back at when this event's going to be over. It's going to be over at 2:02. Right now it's 2:01, and as the event fades, then you will see all the devices reset back to their original situation. So this was an offset of 0 and a set point of 74. Now this is in idle normal op state. That's the water heater, and it's starting to cool off again. And that's our demonstration.